I need to be really honest with you guys that the reasonings of me picking this episode is mainly the fact that I'm mostly looking into every single character that deserve a chance to have my point of view be expressed. Because as far as I'm concerned, people have discussed their opinions on nearly every single piece of media or animation bit in this show that they mostly describe in the reactions or the reviews. And for me personally, when it came to Mayor Dewey in this episode, I think that him sympathizing his ways of lying to the Beach City citizens is understandable, but keep in mind, it doesn't change the fact that it's just difficult to take his character seriously as the series progresses, and it's honestly astonishing that he ended up using his mayor job in the beginning of season 5 rather than earlier than that. The plot of the episode is that the Crystal Gems use Peridot's robots in order to use the electricity to shut off the robots that Peridot has right now, but this only leads to a blackout at Beach City. Due to the blackout, Mayor Dewey needs Steven's assistance in order to calm everyone down in Beach City that the power will come back during sundown, which only turns out to be a lie that Mayor Dewey has been doing ever since he became president. Okay, granted, I'm not sure if he does it all the time when it comes to him doing different things, especially in the Shirt Club episode, but let me just say this right now. This episode really tries to showcase Mayor Dewey's character when it comes to him trying to settle things down at Beach City, but at the same time, he doesn't have a solution. And even though that this episode is a demonstration that he really doesn't have a solution, I still think that the writers or storyboard writers or whatever you call them are literally trying way too hard to make Dewey in the right, but at the same time, I can still see onto why people just cannot stand this character when it came to the characters that they just cannot stand the most when it comes to the least likable Beach City citizens. The situation itself, well, the city is blackout from electricity, and this leads to the events of the Beach City citizens mostly clean up the mess that occurred after the events of the season 1 finale. I think that Dewey was thinking a little too overboard, considering that he mentioned the whole water incident with the water being all gone due to Lapis using the water to leave. I can easily say for a fact that with the Beach City citizens not really familiar with most of the stuff that Steven went through when it comes to the pizza family in the beach party episode, along with Lars and Sadie being stranded on an island with an invisible gem, I'm starting to convince that with the Beach City citizens not going after the Crystal Gems is honestly outstanding that it didn't happen. I understand that this episode is mostly about the mayor of Beach City, but at the same time, whenever I see the mayor on screen, despite the motivations that he needs to cooperate with, he doesn't grow as a character despite being a Beach City citizen character. That really makes it difficult for me to find any sympathy when it comes to him dealing with the struggles of keeping everyone intact when it comes to lying to them, but in reality, it's only going to make things a lot more worse. And with this lean to the Crystal Gems just hiding that they're afraid of what's going to happen, believe me, that's the same emotion that Mayor Dewey is dealing with, but the biggest difference is it's not because of the Crystal Gems are the major focus of the show. It's mainly the fact that we can actually sympathize those scenarios, and when it comes to the mayor being sympathetic, it's difficult because at the same time, even though that he's mainly a male, after this episode, he doesn't do much when he lost his job as mayor in season 5. And even though I'm gonna have to rewatch the episodes that may focus on him, if it doesn't focus on him when I get to season 5, the only thing I can think of from this episode is the fact that this episode will age good when it comes to the Crystal Gems development on being in feel, not the same when it came to Mayor Dewey. if they actually planned on Male Dewey using his job as male to someone else in Season 5 way earlier in the same ways as hiding the fact that Rose was Pink Diamond all along, then I'm starting to convince that they clearly had ideals for Male Dewey, but just like War Naruto, he got the axe. But let's be real, Male Dewey is a better character than War Naruto. That's stating it lightly in comparison to the other characters that are way better than Male Dewey in Beach City. The only good aspects of this episode is mainly the Crystal Gems, since that they were hiding on the fact that they're afraid of what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes. Let me just say this, that after watching this episode 4 years ago, I was honestly hyped to see what the finale is when it came to Season 1. And every time I think about this episode in particular, despite the poor execution when it comes to Male Dewey, it really shows that the Crystal Gems were taking themselves way more seriously when it comes to the point of view of Steven, since that Steven is not going to be familiar with the stuff that the Crystal Gems are going through, and there's obviously a reason onto why they want Steven and Greg to evacuate from Beach City to prevent themselves from getting captured by the gems that are coming, mainly Peridot and the character that I'm going to be saving as a secret for tomorrow, if you haven't seen the show before. For the final Beach City episodes of Season 1, it really went out on a windball. I mean, you can say that the later Beach City episodes aren't on the same level as this, but at the same time, whenever I think about this episode, when it came to the Male Dewey stuff, all I can think of is that I really haven't have much of an opinion when it comes to the Beach City citizens that much, aside from a few. And to tell you the truth, after rewatching this episode for preparation for this marathon, the only thing I can think of is that the Beach City episodes are for what they are, but at the same time, I can't deny that they're all good. Since I've already talked about one bad one that centers around War Naruto days ago. That being said, tomorrow we're heading into the finale of Season 1. I'll see you guys tomorrow as I give this episode a 5.25 out of 10.